One of the first decisions we all must make is whether we should stay home or get out when a hurricane approaches. We don't have to think too far back to remember the last natural disaster that impacted the valley. Just last year, a tornado claimed the life of a Laguna Heights man and left others without homes. Meteorologist Karen Gonzalez tells us about evacuation zones and who is most vulnerable when a hurricane or a tornado is imminent.
The valley has 3 evacuation zones. All of them are in Cameron and Willacy County. The zones are developed by emergency management and public safety officials as part of a hurricane evacuation study in 2016. Texas A&M researchers looked at geographical information and previous hurricane and storm surge data.
So here's a closer look at each of these zones. We start with Zone A, where the red color is at. That includes the coastal cities in Cameron County, Port Isabel, South Padre, Laguna Heights, even Boca Chica. And if we go all across Highway 100 to reach Los Fresnos, notice that Los Fresnos is also included in this red zone, also South Point. Now, we move further north. We have the eastern part of Rio Hondo in this area, and in Willacy County, we have San Perlita and Santa Monica. In the orange zone, where we have Zone B, this includes much of the eastern part of Brownsville, Cameron Park, and even the eastern part of San Benito, this east of 69E, as well as some areas in Willacy County between Raymondville and San Perlita. Now, in the yellow, we have the southwestern part of Brownsville, as well as areas in Harlingen, Combs, and even areas in Sebastian and Raymondville. So these are some of the important areas that we need to remember. At the bottom of the study is a note marked important that says, considering the vulnerable nature of manufactured homes for all levels of hurricane winds, it is strongly recommended that manufactured home residents evacuate and seek safer shelter regardless of their locations whenever voluntary or mandatory evacuations are declared for these counties. That's something people in Laguna Heights are dealing with more than a year later. An EF1 tornado struck Laguna Heights on May 13, 2023 at 4:08 a.m. This meant winds were between 86 to 105 miles per hour. The winds matched the strength of a Category 1 or 2 hurricane. Maite de Cabañas Gutierrez was at home that morning.
Well, at that moment, we were running, and she said, "Mija, hold on wherever." And she was hugging my other grandchild. "This child, I'll take care of him." My other grandson, and she was hugging him, and she said, "Hold on." And at that moment, her husband was in another room, and he says, "Ale, run, it's a tornado."
According to the National Weather Service, in total, 6 very substandard structures were demolished, many of these being mobile homes. Families in the area who had never experienced a tornado described it as a loud darkness.
My daughter told her husband, "Get in there and God willing, nothing happens." We were in there, but since the light went out and all, it sounded so ugly. You could just hear all the popping towards the back.
Till this day, the damage of the EF1 tornado is still visible in the small town of Laguna Heights, as well as an experience that has inclined those who live there to take needed evacuations and weather warnings seriously.
One should evacuate. A lot of people don't want to because of their things, that they might steal them, but it is very ugly. One has to evacuate, especially for the children.